Hey guys, this is Christy. How's it going? You are now into, I'm going to go play some tunes so we can have like some nice little background music while I chill out with my friend Fabrice Sapolsky. And hopefully I didn't destroy that name so much. I just want to go ahead and say hello, and I'm going to go tell you about a couple events I'm going to be going on with her. So, and I'm going to put my like headers on here as well. So the next week, by the way, say hi to Fabrice. Fabrice is also running a Kickstarter. We'll get into that in a minute. Say hi, Fabrice.
Hi.
Hi. So what's coming up for me is Latinx Comic Arts Festival on March 22nd to 23rd over on the Modesto Junior College West Campus. And I'll be there representing CAPS. And then we've got WonderCon 2024, 29th to the 31st. So I'll be at E54, but CAPS will be at 2183, I believe, at a booth. So I'll be there over at WonderCon. Come and see me, and we are going to get right into it with Fabrice here, one of my favorite guests and longtime friends. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. It's always a pleasure to speak with you, and we can like disclose like to the audience that you and I, whenever we have the chance to chat early in the morning, we do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, you also have a 3-hour time difference.
That's true, but it's still early.
Right. I mean, I leave like notes because like instead of answering machines back in the day, we would just go ahead.
You're right. It's better. It's way better.
Yeah. So, but I just wanted to go ahead. You have this Kickstarter called Mutiny Black Girl Magic. So let's pop that on there.
Yay.
Let me go here. And it's Fabrice's books have always been really great. He runs FAIRSQUARE Comics. Sorry, I'm like, my coffee's kicking in because I'm kind of slow.
You know what? Let me just clarify for a lot of people. Like at Diamond, there's someone that which I will not name. She always says Foursquare, and I don't know Foursquare. I know that it's a service that has been popular for a while, but we are FAIRSQUARE Comics. The comics part is very important because we're not FAIRSQUARE. You have a dental, an insurance company called FAIRSQUARE. We're not that. We're a comic book and graphic novel company, and this is FAIRSQUARE Comics.
Do not forget that, guys. So I put it in the comments, all of it. I want you to go ahead, like, share, and subscribe to those as well. Preferably order them and support his Kickstarter. So we're at 5,936. You got a pretty good momentum going. And let us go and play the thing for Mutiny Black Girl Magic. Yeah. And you can go ahead and talk more about it. Let's take a look.
When me and my partner created FAIRSQUARE Comics, we did a lot of cool things, but we made one huge mistake. We made this badass character the mascot for our company, and we put her everywhere. We put on our banner, our bookmarks, our first comic magazine, but we did not give her a story. My name is Crystal Adams. I'm a stand-up comedian, a writer. I've written for shows on Netflix and Hulu, and now I am writing my first comic book. As a Black woman, I am so proud to be a part of a comic book that will be written, drawn, edited, and co-published all by Black women. This is history in the making. And it's not just a love letter to fans who've fallen in love with this character over the years. It is a message to the industry that we can create and shape our own stories. This story is about a young Black woman living in New York who realizes her only marketable skill is being a dating coach for lost causes. During one of her coaching sessions, she follows a woman into the bathroom, only to discover a universe filled with magic that completely disrupts life as she knows it. The story has sci-fi, magic, and Star Wars meets The Wiz. Over the past few years, I have traveled all over the country to conventions, and every single time, somebody comes up to my table and says, "Who is she? And what is her story?" The wait is finally over. This story is for you. Thank you in advance to everyone for helping to support Mutiny Black Girl Magic.
Okay, awesome. Let's go get out of this. So, what's the story about, Fabrice?
The story is pretty simple. I hear the music like in the back. It's like lounge music.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I just play it in the background for whatever, but we could turn that off. So let's turn that off. So go on.
Thank you. So Mutiny, at first, it all started like when we launched a magazine in 2021. So to plant like the background, in the first 20 years of my career, I was in the press. I was a comic book journalist and a graphic designer in the press. And so in 2021, I was like, I'm kind of nostalgic of my magazine days. So I would like to create a comic book magazine that would be a little different. And so we created Mutiny magazine. And we started on Kickstarter, actually, and the campaign brought $21,000. So it was a pretty successful campaign. And people were actually very excited about the quality. It was a 100-page magazine size, square bound with 6 different covers, and everyone was like excited. And from the get-go, I was very interested in giving the magazine a mascot, the same way heavy metal had a mascot in the form of a character called Tarna, which is the white hair woman with this armor, and that is riding a kind of a dinosaur slash camel of space, called Otis, like the elevators. That's funny. And so I was like, we're going to create something. So the first thing that I did was to call a very famous Black artist called Crisscross. And I asked Crisscross, okay, I want this. I know I want a Black woman, but surprise me. And he came back with this character with the giant ass hammer. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then I realized, like, okay, that's great. But for the further issues, I want to ask a different artist to give me their take on what Miss Mutiny would be. And then Aletha Martinez, who's like been very, very popular at Marvel and DC, and especially in the recent years doing Nubia and Wonder Woman, she came back with this version of Miss Mutiny dressed as the character from Kill Bill. And it was a huge smash. Like, it was amazing how popular this cover has been. Like we probably sold 1,500 copies of that cover alone, not counting all the other 5 covers of that issue. It was issue 2. So it was a huge success for us. And like, we decided to make it as Crystal said in the little promo reel, we decided to make her the mascot, not just of the magazine, because we had to stop the magazine, but the mascot of the company. And so she's been present on every piece of communication that we had has had Miss Mutiny for the past 3 years. But people have like asked constantly, where's her book? Where can we read her adventures? And so for the past 2 years, since 2022, I've been trying to build a team that was mostly Black women, because I thought that it would be a great idea. You have a Black female character. Let's put together a Black female creative team, because as FAIRSQUARE Comics, this is our motto. Our motto is comics from the rest of us. We try to give exposure and voice to the underrepresented, and we felt that there was not that many books that had a Black female creative team. And as a matter of fact, there are none. Sometimes you have a Black writer, a Black female writer, or a Black female artist, but a book where the artist, the cover artist, the writer, and the editor are Black female, you don't have that. And we're achieving this with Mutiny Black Girl Magik, which allowed me to take a step back and say, okay, I'm just going to be the publisher here and contribute a variant cover and update the design of the costume. And I worked with Asia Fulmore, the interior artist, to update the design based on the original design that Crisscross made, which you will find there, exactly, and the Aletha Martinez very popular design from Mutiny magazine #2. And so So you have a mix of that. And so I started something, I sent it to Asia. She modified a few things, sent it back to me, modified a few things. And then that's the design that you see up there, like with the rainbow. And so starting from there, I hired a writer, and she said, okay, wonderful. I have all these ideas and we started talking, but then I never saw any script. So after like almost a year waiting for her, I was like, okay, well, no offense, but if I don't have that script by August 2023, I will have to hire someone else because I really want that project to move forward. And she was not able to deliver. And then after that, I told Crystal, I said like, well, I think you're next in line and you will have to do it because no one's better suited to create this character than you, because you've been with me at conventions all these years and you're a shareholder, you're a co-owner of the company. So it makes a lot of sense that you start writing comics. And she was like, you know what? Let's try. And it was a lot of conversations. As I said, we brought the team together and here we are. And now here's the Mutiny Black Girl Magik issue. So currently there are 13 pages that are drawn out of 25. The first issue is 25 pages. And I've received 13, 15 pages of the first issue. So we're really, really close. We put out 3 pages because they are in color and they make sense, but I have way more on my hard drive. So it's like, it's imminent. Once we fund the book, we get straight to finish production on it. And we have every intention to deliver the book in 2 months. So it's very important that we get our funding. It's very important that this book exists. And it's very important that we can also stretch our creative muscles as a company because, you know, we've published a lot of different things over the years. FAIRSQUARE Comics has been around for almost 5 years. Actually, when Miss Mutiny Black Girl Magik comes out, which will be June 19th, which is Juneteenth, as everyone knows, the next day is the 5th anniversary of FAIRSQUARE Comics. FAIRSQUARE Comics was created June 20th of 2019. So it's like really, really this kind of like all the planets are aligned. We're doing this great concept, this great book, and we need people to see it. We need people to really enjoy it and get behind that idea. The funny thing is, I don't know if you saw that, Christy, but yesterday there was an interview of the creative team that went up on The Beat, on Comics Beat. And if you look at the title, you will be shocked. The title says, from rejected Free Comic Book Day to Kickstarter. And that's also one of the things, like, we offered retailers to take in Mutiny Black Girl Magik as Free Comic Book Day last year, and we were turned down. And it's the 3rd year in a row that we got turned down, and we were like, we're not going to let this project die because a group of retailers did not believe in it. We believe in it, and it wouldn't be the first time. Like, there are a few books that we've published over the years that no one believed in, and they have become great success for us. So, yeah, I want people to get behind that book. I want people to help us fund it, because honestly, that's one of the best science fiction books that we've ever put out.
Yeah. One of the guys says, Art Victim says, glad to catch another live. This book art looks great. Can't read today. That's not my fault. But yeah, so it's got 12 days left, guys. Check it out. Let me go and drop the links again in here. So we've got other books down here. Now, I'm not trying to go and differentiate from the Kickstarter. That's definitely,
yeah, I want to say something about Kickstarter in general. I don't know if you're experienced because you've run several Kickstarters too. But there's so much white noise, so many projects out there. And like, this is very interesting because we have very few backers from our previous campaign that came back for this one. And I'm like, I don't understand. Like, if you liked Noir is the New Black, which was our first Kickstarter, if you like Mutiny magazine, then you will absolutely adore this book. It's a book for you. If you like space stuff, stuff for the grown and sexy, as Crystal would say, funny, fun, with a lot of puns, but like, and this kind of like, not the same way, but the same kind of musicality as The Wiz in the story, you will love this book. It's like, it's a fun ride. So I don't understand, you know, if you are watching this show right now and you backed our previous campaign, we are waiting for you. We love you.
I actually saw that. I think it might have gone up. We're at 72. You're at 72% right now, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, I just got a message like someone just pledged for $500.
You know what? Thank you.
Great.
Thank you guys. If one of you guys did it, but if not, like I've noticed, like running my own Kickstarters and shows, is that even if it's for the people watching the show may not back it, it's somebody else somewhere. It's a little transmitter beep to
exactly.
go.
There's something in the air.
Yeah. You put it out there, and so
yeah, it starts at $10. And I know like times are tough for everybody, but it starts at $10. If you want just the digital version, we have an extra digital version with more pages that we're also offering, and even like the print version is like going to be $15. So it's accessible. There are different like tiers. I don't know if you want to show the merch that we have. We're actually doing something really cool this time, like, because we know that people love t-shirts, but whoever has run a Kickstarter campaign knows that dealing with t-shirt is always a nightmare.
Yeah.
So this time what we're doing is we are actually offering the transfer sheet, and people are going to be able to make their own t-shirt. And if they don't want to use a t-shirt, they want to put it in a tote bag, they can put it in a tote bag. They can put it on everything they want. And so that's pretty cool that people will have the freedom to create their own Miss Mutiny Black Girl Magik merch with the transfer sheet that we're offering. It's like, if you scroll down, you will see it. The center part. Yeah.
Okay, the text part. Okay. So yeah, let's take a look here. So these are the covers that are available.
Yeah, these are the covers. The first one that you just passed is the main cover from Elitha Martinez. Second one is what we call the live cover. It's from Asia, the interior artist. I really love that cover. Then there will be another cover that is not here and that is not revealed yet. It's from Sway. And this one is actually the cover that I drew. It's my cover. And then we added a black and yellow cover after that. We're still with the Elitha one, yes, but it's like reminiscent of the original design from the Kill Bill stuff. This cover is quite successful. And so look at the that is the Mutiny Black Girl Magik transfer sheet. So we're gonna send people the transfer sheet, and they will be able to do their own t-shirt, their own tote bag, their own whatever they want. And I think it's gonna be great. Like it really is a game changer. I don't know why people are not doing that. You have the freedom to do whatever you want with it.
Now, what tier is this one? This transfer sheet?
I don't remember which tier it is, but you can also buy it separately as an add-on.
Okay.
So whatever it is, you can do it. It's in several packages. But yeah, we're also going to have this little figurine that you can put on your desk or in your car or whatever. It's really cute, and it's something that I really liked. You have the behind me here. I'm going to show it.
I'm going to identify you right here.
Those chibi designs.
Oop. There we go.
Another one of those chibi designs that I created for the campaign, and it's funny. Like I was talking to Mug Park 2 weeks ago. We were at Emerald City, and she saw that, and she was like, "Oh, that's so cute! I didn't know you had cuteness in you." And I'm like, "Oh, thank you, Mug." That's great.
That's funny.
That is funny. But yeah, let me see if I can make an exclusive reveal for you. If I can send you the sketch of the Sway cover. So for people who don't know Sway, Sway is an artist that has worked for Marvel and DC and Entertainment Weekly, and he sent us the cover is not finished, but he sent us the sketch. So if you want to, I just sent it to you, Christy. If you on Facebook, if you want to just share it with everybody.
Sure, sure.
That's what the cover is roughly going to look like when it's painted, but the painting part is taking more time. That's why we haven't revealed it yet, but it's coming, and it's going to be spectacular.
Let me take a look on that one. I'm going to put it on my Clip Studio Paint, so I'm going to show you that, guys, in a minute. Let me pop this guy up. Hold on. Sometimes it's annoying where it has to do this. Here's this way. And is it S-W-A-I or Y?
S-W-A-Y.
Oh, okay.
It's not sway, it's sway.
Sway, okay. Let me go and figure this out.
You see it first. I haven't shown this image to anyone, not even the backers. No one has seen it but you.
Oh, it's worth it, guys. You should probably put it in Kickstarter. It's really nice.
Yeah, it's just the sketch. It's not the final image.
Right. So let me take a look at this. And that's a cute chibi. Quentin likes the cute chibi right there. So let me go ahead, stop with the screen right here, and then let's go ahead to share the screen. Clip Studio Paint. So this is what we're looking at, the Sway cover right here.
The Sway
cover.
Sketch. This is the sketch. Yeah, it's gonna be that pose, yeah, she's going to be majestic on this.
Yeah, that's already starting to look really good. Sway's like a very good artist right there. Yeah. And let's see. Oh, and also there was another one that you wanted to show that you were going to offer with a Kickstarter while we're in Clip Studio Paint, and I just
So there's something like we might add another art print that is a little spicier. So we're going to show the mildly spicy version, and I'm not done drawing this. So I'm currently drawing this image. It's the cabaret version of Miss Mutiny. So I put her in a very cabaret-like pose, and you can see the hammer, and you can see that there will be, her hair in the back, and there's a chair, and she's going to be on the stage. But I'm far from being done on this. But yeah, this is going to be one of the add-ons that we're going to add as we go on. I mean, we still have 12 days, but we want people to get the best of what they can get from us on this campaign.
Yeah. So that's a little bit of a spicier one, you guys. Let's go back to the Kickstarter right here. Yeah, it's cute chibi. He says Quentin says it's a very powerful sketch.
It is a powerful sketch. That's why we're eagerly waiting for this cover to drop any day now.
So it's going to be a completely colored cover, basically, in general.
Yeah, it will be full color. Absolutely.
Oh, sounds cool. Yeah. So guys, go ahead, and that was the cover for, I think it was the
cover C. It was cover C. Sway is cover C. I am cover D. And you also have an option to get a blank cover and a blank cover fully sketched. That's something also that we never offered before. And I was like, let's do it. So you have the blank cover, which is cover E, and then you can get it sketched in the tiers. You have a tier where you can have it sketched. A few people have actually taken that option. So it's great. And so I would draw an original piece of art on top for you.
So these two guys for $20 a piece. I think it would be a good idea. You just saw the Sway cover, and that debuted on my show. Just the sketch.
Yeah.
That's pretty epic enough. So you probably should back for at least C, and then cover E. That's a blank cover. So
yeah, E, that's a blank cover, and it comes as blank for 20, and it comes with the sketch with an original piece for 100. And then you have another thing. If you scroll a little bit, we have this tier that is very interesting. It's a black and white version of the book. We're going to offer a fully black and white version of the book, just like a manga. and we're only going to print 100 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So don't sleep on that one.
Yeah, you guys, like the thing is, like, this is like Fabrice always puts out quality books with FAIRSQUARE. Always. Like, the colors are amazing. The books are very well crafted. You should go get them. There's also, let's take a look at the current Kickstarter, you guys. Like, the amount of love that you guys give to this. I mean, I'm very happy that you guys raised it to 72%. Let's see. Anybody else jumped on that? Okay, we're still at 165, but that doesn't mean it won't go up. So we'll go back to that. Now, what other books are you offering? Because there were 2 others that were available on previews. So you had one.
Oh, there are more than 2, but yes, there are like there are the last one that we published, and the next 2 that we're going to publish that are for pre-order, and that everyone can pre-order through their comic book store or on using pull list on the Previews World through Diamond. So you want to start with I Run to Make My Heart Beat.
Mm-hmm. So let me see. It is A Fox in My Brain. That's the list that I have up. Is that what you're talking about, right?
Well, you can start with A Fox in My Brain if you want. So, okay. So A Fox in My Brain is a fun book. It's a slice of life book. It's 160 pages, something like that. It's very competitive. It's like $20. It will be duotone. It will be orange and black duotone, and it's the story of the creator Lou. And Lou discovered when she was in her early 20s that she was suffering cyclothymia, which is a mental illness, like a mental condition. And it's her journey as she's trying to understand her condition and try to find a cure, and realizing that there's not necessarily a cure and she was going to have to live with it. And her disease manifests as a fox that is very annoying. So she has conversations with the disease. So it's funny, it's fun, it's educational. It makes you feel good, but at the same time, you're learning a ton. There are like statistics and charts, but at the same time, it's also very funny, and you have all these vignettes that are going through her story, and it's really one of the books that people will fall in love with, because I don't know if you can show. I don't know if on this book we have the preview.
Let's take a look down here. I don't know if cyclothymia. I mean, that's something that first.
There's the preview, Christy. If you click here, click to view preview. Preview.
Gotcha.
If you click here, you're going to have a few pages.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that we do now through the previews website. We offer a preview of a few pages of the book. We try to do that with every book that we publish. So
let's see, the sad moon. So what is cyclothymia? I just out of curiosity.
Well, cyclothymia is a form of bipolarity.
Mm-hmm. So it's like a form of bipolar disorder.
Exactly, bipolar disorder.
Mm-hmm.
And so she is going to go through this, first understanding that there's a lot of people who have heard of those issues, those mental issues, but that don't necessarily know about it. But in this book, you see the real implications of that. When you have ups and downs, and when you have moments in your life where you want to die, and moments where you want to live, when you have moments where you want to spend all your money, and moments where you can't spend anything and you can't even eat. She goes through all the motions, all the phases, and she never loses hope. Mm-hmm. That's a book that is a book about hope, about solving your problems, about trying to hold it together and make as much as you can with the life that you've been given.
I would kind of understand that. Like, I think that would be true of anybody that goes through therapy for any sort, whether or not you have a mental disorder or condition. Because some of them are conditions, some of them are disorders. Like, I have had friends with bipolar disorder. I wouldn't say quote unquote cyclothymia, but they have said there is a thing of being possibly depressed and happy at the same time. And then I asked her, what's that? She's like, you're happy, but you're just. So it's interesting to know these weird things like, oh, how can you be happy and depressed? Well, it kind of happens. And sometimes when you suffer from depression, it's not always a bad thing, because in the quote unquote dark night of the soul. Now, I'm not saying if your clinical depression gets so bad you can't bathe yourself or take care, then seek help, or makes you ideate suicidally or whatnot. Obviously, there are limits, but it's like sometimes it's good to sit with it. And I'm not saying seeking treatment is not sitting with it. It's just, it's a judgment call on a lot of levels.
Yeah.
So like one of my friends, like she thought she had bipolar disorder at a certain age by 18, because she read some of the symptoms. But aside from the people that self-diagnosed, she actually went to a doctor, went and got diagnosed. And now she has treatment for it, where it's like, okay, you know, like for me, I can still see her having those symptoms, but it's not like as nasty, or as it was rough, like when she told me about her earlier days, when before she got diagnosed formally and treated. So yeah, I've never heard of cyclothymia, but it's like the art is very good, and I
The
think
art is really good. And she always, I mean, the funny thing is that I met Lou when I was in France a month ago, and she told me this funny thing. She said, like, you know what? I don't consider myself an artist. And I said, you're kidding me. You're an artist. Like, because she started as a web designer or web developer. She was doing video games first, and she kind of like started sketching because she wanted to, it was therapeutic, you know? And it became this great story. And hopefully the book is going to be a success, because we want to publish her other books. She has 2 other books that she did, one about high potential individual, called Like a Bird in a Fishbowl, and another one that is about hair, as in she discovered, because she's biracial, she discovered like she was black when she went from where she was born to the big city, and she understood that how people were looking at her, and it's kind of like a awakening to who she really is. Really an interesting author. I really like what she's coming up with, and A Fox in My Brain is the first one, hopefully, of a lot of books that we're doing with Lou.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just like sometimes when people deal with their issues, like with me, like with DemonBitch, it's like stupid shit that happened in my life. I know, I mean, I'm not trying to detract from the attention, but there are times when you create something, and I'm pretty sure she or any other person, when they've written about their personal life or what they've been through or whatnot, sometimes you just go like, wow, that came from a dark place. Like when you look at it and you're like,
exactly.
oh shit. But you're kind of like going, well, you kind of have to appreciate the darkness. And even though people may not quote unquote like it or be like, oh my God about it, but it's just like, if it gets the reaction, and it may not be, at least for me, that I intend a certain reaction, but sometimes I get a feeling in the room when, if I do certain cartoons, it's just everybody's quiet, because it just brings out that uncomfortable thing that I've noticed, and no one else wants to say it, but I can. So
but you're also looking, Christy, you're also looking for that, because you're looking for a reaction. You're looking for something. Like, if people keep being indifferent to what you're producing, then you're not doing a good job of expressing yourself. You want to spark something from people. You want to have a reaction. And that's what I love about DemonBitch, by the way. Like, I'm a huge fan, because I feel like, as deconstructed, as messy as it is, it shapes your beautiful mind in some mysterious ways. You know, it shows it shows who you are, and not at all. It's just
Yeah, it's kind of weird, because, as I said, it's about like a totally piece of shit narcissistic group of characters, but at the same time it kind of brings up really serious shit, like from drug addiction to abuse to messed up people to like all sorts of things that in our culture we tolerate. And people are like, well, I don't tolerate abusers. It's like, there's a lot of shit that you guys sweep under the rug that you are not aware of. And it's not just the common, oh yeah, well, whatever. It really is more insidious than that. So
exactly.
that's why I do DemonBitch, because it was an outlet to get things out and say, hey, I see this shit, I don't like it, and I'm calling it out because I've been through that crap before. But it's not like I'm trying to go and pinpoint one person or another. It's just like what I've been told about DemonBitch. Like, even people like initially turned off about DemonBitch, and like, oh, this is like messed up and horrible, and it's just angry. like I had one guy come to me at Collector's Paradise when I did a signing, and I'll be brief with this, but he said, first I didn't like it, but then when I actually read it more, I kind of got it, and now I like it because he was going through some tough life stuff, and now he got it on that. Hey, Dan, how's it going? So let's take a look at another book. This is Kim, right? And if I have pronounced it wrong, I apologize.
Kim. I can actually show you. So, because I'm working on it right now. So this is the book.
Mm-hmm. So and I have it up here so they can see it all in its beauty too. Let me go ahead and pop you up as a bigger thing.
So Kim is fascinating. So sometimes you meet people in professional or personal circumstances, and you get to know their families, and this is the case here. So a few years ago, I think it was in 2015, I was invited at the Montreal Comic-Con, and after the show, there was this party that was at my good friend Yannick Paquette, who's a huge deal. Like, he's a big star at DC and Marvel. He also worked for Humanoids. He did the Inca. Yannick Paquette is a huge star. And so I went to his place, and I met this young kid that was like 20 years old. But he showed me his things, and he was like so talented. And I was like, wow, whatever you can produce at 20, I can't wait until you're 30. And this guy was Jibril Morissette fan. And Jibril and I stayed in touch over the years. 2 years later, I came back to Montreal for the same show. He introduced me to his mom. I thought that was cute. And then we kept talking. Once he was in New York, we met. When I moved to LA, he actually went to LA because he has family there. And so we also met. His sister was there. I could meet his sister. And then he said, okay, when I was traveling all that much, it's because I was gathering information to tell the story of my family. Because his mother came from Vietnam. She was a refugee.
Oh, yeah.
And so Jibril and his sister Yasmin, they are mixed. Like their dad is a white Canadian, French Canadian guy. Mm-hmm. And so they wanted to know where they actually came from. So they went to Vietnam to actually understand no, there's no preview yet because I'm still working on the book.
Oh, okay.
But it's coming. It's coming.
Well, I mean, if the cover is anything to say about the interior, and if we've seen the other ones
I can show you a little bit of the art.
Okay, let me go ahead and bring this guy up.
I mean, that is the French version, but I'm gonna open it like randomly. But I think you can look at the art and you can understand how beautiful it is.
It's kind of funny, though. I can kind of relate to it because I actually realized that my parents that were kids during the Korean War, even though they left Korea when they were adults, it's technically refugee status too, which I found interesting. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. Yeah, like the art. Let's see who's with this. So so the writer is Yasmin, and
so Yasmin wrote the story and Jibril illustrated it. So it starts like a travelogue. Mm-hmm. It starts like a travelogue, and it actually tells the story of their grandmother, then their mother, then their aunt, and then you have all these incredible women that were so strong and that did everything they did to survive. And you understand a lot of things about how the Vietnamese society was working during the war, and when the communists, the Khmers were in place. And how there was no money, and sometimes families had to sell their kids just to survive and guarantee them a future.
Yeah. And
so it's a very strong and emotional book. And I know a lot of people will probably overlook it, but honestly, if you want to discover this kind of extremely emotional and strong story with beautiful black and white art, Kiem, don't sleep on that book. Don't sleep on that book. Kiem is amazing. And so it was kind of a natural thing when Jibril showed me the book and I said, I want to publish it. And then COVID happened and I was kind of late in organizing my business. and there was not like the timeline was wrong, but this year we're now finally ready to publish the book, and I hope that really people understand how incredible it is. And I know if you just come and say, hey, that's the guy who did the history of science fiction and worked on Black Widow and Alpha Flight, it's still the same guy, but it's his own story, so he's way more invested in it. And yeah, this is a book I'm very, very proud to publish.
Yeah. Oh, Quentin just Googled the infographic of site. Could you please pronounce it again?
Cyclothemia.
Cyclothemia. Yeah, about the cyclothemics. It's interesting because Quentin actually does have autism as well. So it's like this stuff fascinates him on a lot of levels. He's very like, ooh, like it excites him on a certain level. So yeah, so this is great. Let's go back to the Kickstarter momentarily and see so what's the story about really quick about her, like in this context? You talked about Mutiny in general, but in this comic, what happens here?
So the idea was to create a story. So it's all Crystal. So she came up, like I just said, like go to your room and write whatever you want. And she came back with all these incredible ideas. And so even though we had conversations, because since it's her first comic, I had to help her structure the way she was organizing her ideas. And then Amanda Meadows came on board and is progressively taking over from me the editing side. The idea behind that is that the hero, her real name is Moriah. Moriah is like your kind of like everyday late 20s urban Black person. She is a dating coach, and she helps men trying to overcome their issues, their communication issues with women.
Yeah. As an incel whisperer, that's said when the kids
incel whisperer, like she likes that. And so you will get to learn Moriah as we go further into the story, but at this point that's the only thing you need to know. You need to know that she's opinionated. She is a strong person. You see the opening scene of the book, she's in the subway. She comes out of the subway. She's on a live feed on the social media, and someone tries to punch her in the face. Someone she never met, and actually, we learned that it's actually a real thing. Like you have some guys who are punching women in the face in the subway in New York, which is terrible.
Yeah.
So and she dodges it, and she manages to push the guy and show her followers that she comes out on top. Then she goes to her meeting with her next client, who tries to find a date, and he sees this beautiful woman at the in the room. And so Moriah, that's the page that you see here, Moriah tries to push him to go and talk to her, and she happens to be Lozo, who in reality is from another world, and she turns him down, and Moriah gets so upset that her technique did not work that she's following Lozo in the restroom just to get an explanation and try to convince her to give Paul a second chance. But then Lozo did not flee because she did not want to go out with her customer. She fled because she's followed and pursued by bounty hunters who want to kill her. And then she has to open a portal and get to another dimension so that she saves herself. And Moriah happens to be caught in this situation, and that's how she goes into the other dimension where magic is the currency. And instead of science, this is all about magic. But magic has been banned by this dictator called Ezek. And imagine, like in Star Wars, you have the Force and you have Order 66 when Palpatine banishes all the Jedis, even though he was a Jedi himself back in the day. Well, this is kind of a similar situation. Ezek is that person. He's a magician, but he banishes magic from the universe, and then every magician has to die. Every alchemist has to die. And so Lozo, being one of the last ones, she is chased by the bounty hunters, and they finally, and this is where Moriah will become Mutiny. Moriah's story begins.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, there you go on that. So, you know, guys, take a look, pick it out. I mean, you got a lot of good art. You got a lot of very good storytelling. It's a good premise and all that. Oh, Art Victim says, oh, these are clean and good looking props. They said, you're working with professionals. Amanda, I've known as well. Fabrice has been a long time guy. What's your relationship to Spider-Man Noir, by the way? You got to tell us a little bit about that. Hey, we got nerds here. So
you had to put that here, right?
Well, I had to. I know. It's like one of those things that you want to do. But...
well, I co-created Spider-Man Noir and every other character in that universe. And I'm no longer associated with it because what Marvel did is they decided that they wanted Spider-Man Noir to become the animated movie version. And so everything that Dave Hine and myself have created and put in that book is no longer canon. So there's no chance that I will ever work on this book anymore. And plus, I have my own company where, as opposed to Marvel, I am valued as a creator and a publisher. Whereas for Marvel, I was just a person who was producing book for them. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just that it's not what I want for my career.
I totally get you. You know, like you go in a different direction, but hey, you started greatness, so let's go and not take away from that, if you get what I mean.
Well, it's funny because I don't want to communicate around Spider-Man Noir anymore because I feel it's so far from me now. Like I created that thing 17 years ago. It's not news to me. It's like you're a musician and people always want you to play your first hit and nothing else. But I've released a lot of different albums since then, like 5 creator-owned books, 5 creator-owned books, all the things that I'm doing through FAIRSQUARE Comics, all the other creators that I'm revealing, all the art that I'm producing, and that is not Spider-Man Noir. So, like, honestly, this is almost insulting when people come and say, hey, I'm only interested in Spider-Man Noir, and the rest that you're doing, well, I'm not interested. This is a little insulting.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just thought it would be good to mention it. But Tiffany said, as I look all over art, it's about angels and shapes and so much more. I like this. So she loves the books that we've been putting out on there.
Well, then she can totally back this campaign, and we will be very grateful that she's one of us.
So yeah, go ahead. Yeah, guys, take a look. Please back it. We were at 165 backers at 72. We need to get closer because we're at 12 days behind all that other stuff. So it's just like, please, I've copied and I pasted everything linked to him. Please support at least one of the books.
Yeah, and I want to say that because the market is so difficult right now, and we're doing a lot of shows. We have 26 conventions and store appearances for this year, and there were 30 last year. I want to say that Kickstarter has become such an important part of our business, and I think it's for everybody who has ever been on Kickstarter. You realize that at one point, a lot of people have no idea, but when you get a book from a store, it's what the stores has selected. And so most of the time, retailers don't order our books, even though they have the possibility to do so. So if you don't go to a store and say, hey, I want to see FAIRSQUARE Comics books in your store, they will not order them because we're not the first publisher that is on their mind. We're only 5-year-old publisher. And so it's difficult for them. And I want to, I'm not blaming the retailers. I'm just saying that the reality is that a lot of retailers are overlooking our books because they don't really know us. So the idea is to have a lot more people aware of what we're doing so that they can tell their retailers, hey, you should take a look at what FAIRSQUARE Comics is doing because their books are great. And so Kickstarter helps a lot with that because it helps us getting a bigger audience, a bigger fan base, so that after that, a lot of retailers are like hearing of what we're doing, and then they can order the books through Diamond. And that's ultimately what we want. We want to be on every level. So this year, we're resuming our Kickstarter program, which was kind of like absent last year. We only had one. This year is going to be 3 or 4. So Mutiny Black Girl Magic is the first one. In 2 months, we're going to have the return of one of my creator-owned, the Intertwined series, which is a Kung Fu noir series. Like if you like Spider-Man noir, this is my Spider-Man noir. This is one that I own with my friend Fred Pham Chuang, who is the artist on the book and designed the characters, and he's also a martial artist. So all the Kung Fu in there is accurate, and we're so thrilled that we can bring this book back. It's completely sold out in stores. We sold over 4,000 copies of it, and this new version will come as a 300 pages hardcover volume that will be first on Kickstarter and maybe in stores later. But like we're going to put like more time so that the people on Kickstarter feel value, and we take care of them as much as we can. And then after that, we're going to have another Asian book. You're going to be happy, Chrissy. It's a book from a Korean American author, and it's called Raging Clouds, and it talks about this relationship between these two women, and it's in the 18th century, and all they want to do is to they're inventors, and they fall in love, and so it's kind of a lesbian inventor story. Really a great book, 300 pages. We can't wait for people to see that. Also non-safe for work.
Oh, there you go. But you know, as like Korean cinema. God, I can't talk today. It's always been intense. Like I've noticed with people when they bring it up, it's like, oh, it's like so intense about this and that, the other thing. I don't know, maybe
this
my culture is just we're just
Raging Cloud is a very intense book, but we're also very happy to have it. And the author is like she's a Wonder Woman. Like she writes, she draws, she colors. I mean, that book is not in color, but the next one that she does and that I could see a few pages of is in color, and it's just wonderful. So keep an eye on our Kickstarters, because there are going to be a lot of great Kickstarters. And of course, Mutiny is going to come back. If we can fund this one, Mutiny is going to come back with issue 2 by the end of the year.
Oh, Art says, I feel that all Fabrice creators are not just one-trick ponies. And Quentin says, sounds like an Asian version of Banditas.
No, so it's not at all.
Oh, really? Okay.
No, they just want to be inventors. They want to create not planes, you know, those helium balloons, you know, like the Montgolfiers. That's what they want to do. It's in the 18th century, so it's absolutely not. They're not gangsters. They're not trying to rob banks. They're not a posse. No. There's just these two women against the world, just trying to be creative.
There is that. Sometimes that just happens, right? It's just like, it's funny because like whenever I like to have drawn something or done something, it's like, oh, it means so much more. And it's like, not really, but okay. You know, it's kind of an interesting way how people kind of like read things in general.
Yeah. But keep an eye on FAIRSQUARE Comics. We're on the socials at FAIRSQUARE Comics. I am on the socials at Fabrice Sapolsky. Easy to find, and I hope like there are more people that come to visit us at shows wherever you're from, wherever you're at. We're going to be at a town near you, except LA, because this year we have no plans on going back to LA. They moved the festival, and it's too close. The LA Comic Con, they moved it. It's too close to New York Comic Con now. It's impossible for us. It's like a week before.
I will say this. I think with God, I'm like Age of Enlightenment, indeed, 1700s, Age of Enlightenment. Quentin says that, but yeah, I mean, I said something and totally I went brain fart today. My brain is just not working today. It's like spazzing out for some reason. But yeah, definitely. Oh, by the way, guys, in the description also, if you have any questions, go ahead and also follow FAIRSQUARE Comics over on Kickstarter as well, so you have an idea on their latest projects. Because I know with everything, like, and also I put in all the links that I keep popping in the chat. Just I'm also been putting that in there as well, you know, so you can guys, as well as my socials, but definitely his stuff that he's given to me, that's also in the description box if you are on YouTube. So that's an easily accessible thing. At least if you can't look at it now, bookmark it later.
I'm also posting a lot of fun drawings that I'm doing and that I'm selling, like this one. Like, I don't know if you can see it.
Let me go and boost it up. Hold on.
I don't know if you guys know the Thundercats. So this is a character from the Thundercats that I drew, Chitara, and she is with the Monopoly Man, and like this unlikely pairing. I love doing those kind of like stupid things. So that's the kind of things that I'm selling right now.
Yeah. So yeah, guys, definitely like check it out. I mean, as I said, by all means, do the Kickstarter. It's the first thing to do.
Yes.
But if you cannot, then go ahead and jump on and look at his other stuff, because his other stuff's wonderful. Like,
and all our books are available everywhere books are sold, like Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Target, Walmart, online, your comic book stores, of course, if they ordered, and independent bookstores, everywhere books are sold.
Yes. So do check it out, guys. Like, by all means, like, I'd like to see this fund ideally at the end of my show, even though we've got a few minutes left. But, hey, I'd like to make sure, but hey, at least we got one backer, so I'm not crapping about that. And you boosted up. I think you were at 65%. I kind of took a quick look, but now it's gone up to 72. So I'm very happy about that. So at least that's a bit of a jump, which is nice.
Yes, and hopefully we can get to more. Yeah.
So yeah, just jump on it. If you cannot back for whatever reason, I know money's tight. Like, share, and subscribe. Go ahead and share the link, and like, at least let people know about the other two books as well, of Fabrice's as well.
Yes, and the other three, because you haven't shown it, but I Run to Make My Heart Beat, which is also available and came out late February, is also one of the books that we're very, very excited about.
Yeah. So it's like, so what's about that book as well? You want to drop
I Run to Make My Heart Beat is also a slice of life books. It's a book about this woman. I mean, in the book, her name is Nina, but it's actually Rachel, the author of the book. It's 99% her story. And she's trying to, it's a coming of age story. She's trying to find her place in the world, knowing that she is Black, Jewish, and Muslim. And she's really trying to survive that world, and knowing how her identities can help or be an obstacle to her finding her place. She studies law. She's an athlete. She's an amazing person, and she has all sorts of adventures. And it's not every day easy, but it's a book that carries a lot of hope, and will probably be a lot very much of a feel-good book for a lot of people who are struggling with their life.
Mm-hmm. Where is this person located at?
Excuse me?
Where is the character located at? This person, where's she located at?
Oh, she's in France.
Oh, okay. She's a French
novelist, and she's not an athlete anymore because she's in her 40s. But yeah, she's still a novelist and a political analyst now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That'll be an interesting thing to read. Yeah, definitely. Like, if you have the link, drop it in the private chat.
You had it somewhere. I saw you posted it somewhere. You posted it in the beginning.
Because what I got was this. So pardon me, guys. It says also recent books that came out previous week. Okay, maybe that was
this one. Okay. December 23, 1457.
Okay.
I just responded to you.
Okay, so let me go ahead and pop this guy up real quick. So, because I was like going, where is it? Because it wasn't labeled like the Fox in My Brain and Kim. So it's like, which other
So,
ones are there. So
look at it in the chat, in the private chat. I just resend it to you.
okay, I'll go ahead and pop these two up here because there's Watson and Holmes. We'll go in that a little bit, but let me.
Yeah, What's in the Homes is still. I mean, it's almost sold out. Like it's been such a surprise. What's in the Homes. So.
So how do Watson and Holmes come about? Let's actually. Okay, so this is. I run to make my heartbeat. Let me go and pop this on there. So this is available in previews. Right?
Yeah.
It's actually in there, but I didn't.
It's available everywhere. You have a preview also. You can pop up the pages.
Oh wait, whoops. That's the wrong one.
No, yeah.
I'll click to this. There we go.
It's available everywhere books are sold. Also on a web store. Also at your comic book store. Also on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, everywhere. So that's the book that I was just talking about.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. So we got in, like the art is always, as usual with your books, very superb. Who's the artist here on this?
It's a woman, and I want to stress out like something that I mentioned somewhere online last week. But like in 2024, 50% of the books that we publish are either written or drawn or both by a woman. And this is something that I'm very proud of. Like, it should be all about that, you know?
Yeah, yeah. So it's just like, as usual, the art is superb, wonderful.
Yeah, the artist, her name is Aude. And Aude, she worked with the artist to kind of like capture the essence of, it was a novel first. It was a novel that Rachel Kahn wrote in 2016, and it was turned into this graphic novel in 2022. Mm-hmm. And it was released last year in France, and we're releasing it now in 2023. Sorry, it was released in 2023 in France, in 2024 in the US.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's take a look at this one. This is Watson and Holmes. So tell us
Watson and Holmes, which is almost sold out to this day. It's the second volume, and it has like really big name talents like Brandon Easton, Stephen Harris, Greg Ellisay, Carl Ballers. Really, really a book that is. Oh, thank you, Charles. Really a book that is exceptional and more than one account. And yeah, it's a modern day version of Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson in Harlem. And all the main characters, Watson and Holmes, are African Americans. And so it's just like fantastic to be able to publish those stories. This one is very particular because the book was set up at another publisher for years. And then the publisher kind of reached out and said like, hey, we don't have the bandwidth anymore. Do you want to take over? And so we republished the first volume last year, and we published this new volume this year with extra material that has never been published before, and we had created just for our edition. So this is like we want as many people as possible to buy it because we want to produce more Watson and Holmes in the future.
Definitely. So yeah, definitely, guys. Well, I mean, God, we've already talked a little over an hour. That's not a bad thing. I do have leeway. Yeah, and you got all this. Yeah, and you got all this screen time. We got to showcase your plethora of books, which is like looking at art and drawing in itself. And it was many different artists and such. And I actually know Brandon Easton, so he's a really cool guy in general.
He's a very, very cool guy, yes.
Yeah, he's very nice, yeah. And he does Transformers, so that's kind of one of my favorite
ideas. He does Transformers, absolutely. And he does Robotech, and he does so many other things.
I think I remember him talking. Yeah. Like he's working on the comic/manga of Robotech. I'm trying to remember because I know
it's a comic book. Yeah, it's a comic book. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, well, very good, guys. So please pick it up. I will drop the links in here yet again. Take a look at all of them. Buy all the things if you can. Support, share, everything.
Yes. Yes. I will thank you forever for being supportive of what we're doing. FAIRSQUARE Comics is not just because it's my company, but like. We label it comics from the rest of us. We're the only family, immigrant, and minority-owned comic book company in America. And honestly, I wish we were more, but this is us. So please help us this year and next year and all the years to keep doing all these beautiful books because this is what we're here for. We're here to show you all these books that you will never read anywhere else.
And also the thing is that you have to support people that actually have a love of the medium now. Yeah. It's like right now everything is like everybody's like, yeah, we're just shitting out these books. It's like not Fabrice. He always puts out very good quality.
And I'm not here for Hollywood. I'm not here to move on my IPs into Hollywood or advance my own career. I'm here because I love comics like there's no tomorrow.
All right, guys. Well, guys, we're going to wrap up. We've gone a little over, but thank you, Fabrice, for coming on.
Thank you very much for having me, Christy. It's always a pleasure. And I'm waiting for those backers now.
Yeah. So guys, come on there, like, share, subscribe, take a look in the description. All the links are there. All the links are in the chat. Feel free to take a look, bookmark it, share it to your friends. Just share it, please. And thank you very much. And you guys have a great day. I will be not broadcasting next week because I will be out of town. I will be doing Latinx Comic Arts Festival, but I will be back for the week of WonderCon to do that. So just as a heads up, guys, but you take care and have a good night or day, wherever you're at. Bye-bye.